In this video, I am going to be ranking every single One Piece arc. Those that don't understand how it works is that the top tier is SS, so that is the best, but like absolutely loved to bits. And then it goes all the way down to F, which is the worst arc ever starts. So the first arc is Romance Dawn, and I am going to give this a nice B. It gives a beautiful opening to Luffy's character, just a beautiful opening to Shanks' character, just a beautiful opening to the One Piece world. It couldn't be better, couldn't be worse, just nicely written, especially for just such an introduction to such a long series. Next is Orange Town. Now, there is some controversy with this arc, and it is quite boring, okay? Like, it's good on the first watch, but if you watch it again, it's just so boring. I'm gonna give it a C tier. All this arc is basically Luffy going to his first area. Well, the first area is Romance Dawn, and he goes to the ship where Alvita, I think her name is, the really me as a woman character finds Kobe and obviously helps him out, and he goes to the next island, which is Orange Town, and this is where he meets Buggy and his pirates. Defeats Buggy a little bit. We kind of learn a little bit about the fact that Buggy actually knows Shanks, and about the backstory a little tiny bit. Not too much. Yeah, that's just about it, but it is very boring. Like, literally not a lot happens. I think the one amazing part though is about the dog and the dog waiting for his owner, although the owner is dead. That is quite sad, to be fair, but still, it's just not enough to make the arc really high rated. Next thing, Syrup Village, and I'm going to put that as a D. It does introduce Usopp's character. He is such a fun character, especially how he's introduced and how he has his, like, own little, like, pirate crew and stuff like that with like Onion and all that stuff, but it's not enough to make it good. Like, it is so dragged out. It does not need to be as long as it was. Orange Town is a nice length, okay, and we get introduced to I think his name was Katakuri. Cool villain, yeah, pretty cool of a first like person for Luffy to actually have a challenge with and see the abilities different like pirates can have and stuff like that, and like the deep meaning of like all the past of what he had, how he faked his death just so he could survive, and then he went to the Silver Village Island and then started looking after the princess or something like that, and then he drugged her and hopefully was trying to kill her, but obviously Usopp kind of catched up onto it and then stopped him. Well, Usopp didn't, but the Straw Hats pirates, and then obviously that's when Usopp joins. Again, a fun arc, but it's just too dragged out, so I'm gonna keep it at D. Now, the first arc where everyone says, oh, this is where I start getting interested, and it is Baratie, and I am gonna put it at S tier. It's so good, and it's just Sanji is introduced so good, and he's just such a badass and everything. And then you've got all these fights. It really shows Luffy's determination on like all these fights, and we get introduced to Mihawk, and oh my god, him against Zoro, and it's so beautiful of a fight. And like Zoro's like, I promise you that I'll never lose again. Baratie is such a good arc. So many fun characters introduced. You got the main chef guy, and it's just a nice introduction showing Sanji's suffering to get to that Baratie, well, how they create Baratie themselves, Sanji's skills on his legs and stuff like that. It's such a fun arc, and everyone gets introduced into like the One Piece properly. That's where you get very interested. You get introduced to the Grand Line, the Red Line, and stuff like that, how dangerous it is and stuff like that. And it's really good. I really enjoyed the arc. Right, next one, Arlong Park, and I'm gonna put that as S tier also. Arlong Park is so good. Backstory introduced on it with Nami and her sister. It's so beautiful how she was just slaved and stuff like that. Not saying that it was a good thing, I'm saying it was beautifully written, but it's just so good how she draws all the maps for Arlong and stuff like that, and like how evil he was, how he killed her mother. That's when you start noticing that Oda can cook on the backstories. And then the fight also to get Nami back was so good, and it really influences Nami and Luffy's relationship throughout the story. He literally saved her life. She thought it was the best decision to go back when it was not, and Luffy just came back and saved the day. Next is Loketown. I'm gonna put this at about B tier. Not an amazing arc, but it really introduces a lot of characters. We get introduced to Dragon, which we find out later on is Luffy's dad, and it's such a badass opening. I'm pretty sure we get introduced to Smoker during this arc. We see Buggy again. Yeah, that's about it. Then I start heading to the Grand Line. Reverse Mountain, see, it's not a great arc. It's got 2 episodes, but it really does introduce to that whale. I keep forgetting the name, but it is enjoyable. It does fly by because again, it is only 2 episodes, but it really does like start introducing, like, we don't know yet, but one of Roger's people. Whiskey Peak, I'll give this A tier. It's actually an alright arc. They go to an island where pirates are supported and stuff like that, but really they're kind of just not like that, are they? They're just bounty hunters. And Zoro, ooh, when he kills those, I think it was 100 of bounty hunters in one. That was such a beautiful scene. And then Luffy and Zoro start fighting and stuff like that. A lot happens, yeah. Get introduced to Baroque Works. Yeah, it's about it. That's about it I can remember. Little Garden B. We get introduced to the Giants, which is going to be so significant, especially now. But it's not a fun arc. It's got the candle guy, another guy on the Baroque Works. That's literally about it. We get introduced to Crocodile also, which we learn it's like Mr. Zero or something like that. But again, that's literally about it. They just fight a little bit, stuff like that. They kind of learn about the candle guy's abilities, learn a bit about the past of the Giants, and they've been fighting for like many years. Literally about it. It's not amazing, so I think it deserves its B tier. Drum Island A. It's good. The backstory is so sad, and I think literally the backstory like beats all of Jujutsu Kaisen. I know that's very controversial, but like, my god, it's a really good backstory. But the arc kind of just drags on a little bit. But at the end, we did get introduced to Ace, which I thought was really cool. Fun arc, got introduced to Chopper, and then we get the chomping guy, I forget his name, Wapol or something, Wapol. Good arc, but it does not deserve an S or an SS tier. Yeah, so it gets its A tier. Alabaster, S tier. It's very long. There's a lot of time where they're just walking through the desert, but once they're not, the fights are beautiful. They're really good fights, and I really love it. I can't remember where I was up to when I was doing the ranking. I think I was only up to like Barati or Arlong Park. But after this, I am doing amazing. I think I had a time where I watched 60 episodes in one day. Like, that's just not normal. Yeah, the fights are really fun. We get to see Crocodile, his built-up character. That's all I can remember. I apologize for this, guys. Alabaster, S tier. Jaya, A. It's a perfect transition arc to Skypiea, which is the next arc. And we learn so much about the past. We get introduced to Blackbeard, and it's such a funny introduction, just seeing how completely opposite Luffy and Blackbeard are. It's kind of just more of them wanting to go to Skypiea, and they're just asking people how they get there. And then they find a lad, he teaches them about the past, and then they end up getting there. And then that's how the Skypiea arc starts. Skypiea S tier, such a fun arc, so many funny moments, it's so nostalgic, it's long, but it's really good, and it's so important to the story, and I don't get why people skip it. Oh my god, the amount of foreshadowing that is put into this, it's so good, and I just love the ending. I love them getting there, just so many funny moments. It does kind of get dull when Luffy goes inside that snake thing, but like, except on that, it heals. And it's really good. Now, I don't get the hate for the Foxy arc. I'm gonna give that a B. I know you're gonna be like, oh my god, that better than Reverse Mountain, but I really liked the fun. The main part I enjoyed was that it was all HD for once. Like, oh my god, my eyes were hurting with this bad quality, but it improved here. But it was a fun arc, to be fair. I don't get the hate. I think it's just because it's just so unrelated to the story. But we say that, and from what we've learned so far, everything is stretched, everything's long land. And it might be related to Joy Boy, which we'll get to in a bit. It might actually be a really important arc, and we just didn't know it yet, but I give that a B tier. It was quite a fun arc, to be fair. Now, Water 7, SS. No, I'm joking, S tier, because it's really good, builds up on Frankie's character, and it's such a fun arc, man. I love the area, I love the world building, the ship breaking down, and like Usopp leaving the Straw Hat Pirates and stuff like that. It's so beautiful of an arc, it's amazing. And then we add on to Enies Lobby, which is the first SS, which perfectly transitions after Water 7. So good. We get introduced to Soj King, which for some reason, people think it's Usopp, but really, I don't think it's Usopp, okay? It's such a fun arc. Fight after fight after fight. I want to live everything like that. I don't know what else to say. It's such a fun arc. So good. Okay, right. Post Ennie's lobby. We get to introduce to Garp's character a bit more and stuff like that. And it is fun. More of them like healing from what they've just went through. The Thousand Sunny is introduced. Well, it's built. And they go onto it. And Usopp cries to death and rejoins the Straw Hat Pirates. Beautiful. A tier. Thriller F. No, joke. Thriller D. The start is so boring. I literally couldn't bear it, man. The second part, but that's what's got it to D. The second part, where nothing happened. Brock's introduction kind of cool. His backstory is really sad, but D. Sabaody, S. Beautiful arc. And everyone's getting out of the way. Beautiful. S tier. It's amazing. We just see how much Luffy really cares for his crew, because obviously they all just go bang away from him, and he really just gets really depressed. We get introduced to the worst generation, and it is amazing. This is really where I think Oda was like, oh my god. Get introduced to the Emperor's Horse, get introduced to Rayleigh, get introduced more of Roger's pirates. Amazon Lily, B tier. It's a bit weird. Get introduced to Hancock, who just has a weird obsession with Luffy. And we discover that Ace is going to get executed. Beautiful ending to the arc. It's really weird though, because obviously the whole island is full of girls. I'm not saying that's what's weird. Full of girls. They obviously don't even know what a boy is. It's kind of just a bit awkward for Luffy, and he doesn't know where he is. Kind of like, what's this? It's stretching. Impel Down, S tier. It's a really, really good arc. We get introduced to so many characters. Bon-chan, I miss you. Amazing arc, and that's really where Luffy starts, like, he gains the ability of being, like, kind of immune to poison, because obviously he gets dumped in poison on that one scene, and that's where his body starts getting immune to the poison. You go through Impel Down, you see all the different levels. We get introduced to Jinbei, and that is a badass introduction, yeah. He's right next to Ace, and it is so cool. I love the arc. Also, Crocodile starts siding. Like, everyone's that Luffy kind of defeated, kind of sides with Luffy just for what's about to happen. That is Marineford, SS. If someone put F on a Marineford, they actually, I'm not going to say it, but Marineford is peak after peak after peak after peak episode. So well written, so cool. Oh my god, I don't know what to say. Oh my god, I wanted to cry. Luffy literally froze. He literally fainted, and he was about to die. Jinbei saved him, and that's how he got his massive scar. Beautiful arc. Post-war, it is very dragged out, but it really builds on and just makes Marineford even sadder. And this is what influences him to take a 2-year break and build up on his hockey and just all of his power. Going back actually about Marineford, the hockey, the scenes where he kind of uses hockey and he doesn't realize, those are such badass moments. And for One Piece is real, such a badass moment, and that he stays standing dead. Ooh, yeah, that's about it. Turn to Sabaody, B tier. It's kind of boring. Good introduction back to all the characters we can. We don't really get introduced too much about the abilities are. It's more Fishman Island when we get shown the abilities they have now. But about that, they just meet up again. We see what they look like now, and not me. No, right. Yeah, so Fishman Island F. It took me nearly 2 months to complete. It was so bad, so dragged out, so boring. Why would you do that to me? To us? I'm not even gonna talk about this arc. Maybe when he killed half of the crowd of people, but that's the only cool scene, man. Punk has a D. What are you doing, Oda? What's happening here? What happened? It was so boring these past 2 arcs. I literally was suffering and suffering and suffering. It was good, but I was just suffering. I can't deal. Dressrosa, S tier. Too long, too much filler, but such a good arc. I can't explain how good it is. I'm not going to yap too much about it because this video is going to be way too long otherwise. But it was amazing, man. What puts it down is the filler. It took Luffy 20 episodes just to punch Bellamy. So, A tier. Bit controversial, but it's just, I didn't find it as fun as most people do. It was good. Sanji's betrayal was cool and all and stuff like that, but like, I just didn't enjoy it as much, okay? Now, Whole Cake Island, SS. Pudding's betrayal, Wedding Cake, every fight in it, just the world building on it, fight between Luffy and Sanji. That's all I'll say. You watch the anime, you'll understand. Reverie B. Oh my god. The anime makes like 3 chapters 12 episodes, because all they do is they drag it out and add flashback after flashback after flashback after flashback. S for Wano. Do I have to explain? Hype after hype. Episode 1015, one of the best episodes to exist in all of anime, and this is where we started building up on Joy Boy also, like I said before. Oh my god, Luffy Gear 5. It literally broke the internet, didn't it? It was so good. And same with Egghead. SS. Oda, just never end, okay? You're doing too good. Oh, Egghead is so good also. And it's not as long as Wano, luckily, because Wano was nearly 200 chapters long. Egghead was like 80 chapters long. Such a fun arc. So much building and showing how much foreshadowing he did. Same with Wano. Oh my god, I'm starting to lose my voice, so I'm gonna end it off here, guys. I hope you guys like my tier list. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I do apologize, I did disappear for a while, like I said in the previous video that none of you watched. I'm only joking. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. I just need the motivation. I had quite a bit of motivation to make this video, as you can tell, so I enjoyed making this video. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.